on financial stability. I'm just going to give you some information because we're all here so we can get a job to make money. But if you don't know what to do with your money once you have the job, it's as good as being unemployed. The topics I'm going to cover are budgeting, retirement, and investing. First of all, you got to understand what is a budget. Everybody, mostly when they hear budget, they cringe because they think about being low on money, being low on cash, depriving themselves of the things that they want, and really not having enough for the things that they need. But really, what a budget is making long and short predictions so you can see how your financial health will look in the long run, knowing what you can afford, knowing what's coming in, and as well what needs to be taken care of. And a budget can prevent a crisis from happening. You never know when unexpected medical bills or things break in your home, your car breaks down, and you want to make sure that you have enough cash on hand or put away so you can take care of that when it happens. And you want to make sure you get the most out of your money in any situation. You want to make sure that you have the necessities that you need. You want to make sure that you can take a vacation if needed. And even if it's just go get something to eat or you just want to get a movie for the night, you want to make sure that you have cash for that as well. And which leads to the future freedom, financial freedom, being able to do what you want when you want to. And budgeting is not depriving yourself. Everybody needs a budget, whether you're rich and famous, whether you're a large corporation, or whether you just work 9 to 5 for minimum wage. You need to have a budget. This is an example of a budget that any one of us could make because I made it in Excel. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and updating your budget every day really helps to put it in an Excel spreadsheet, because when the unexpected things can arise, you can plug it in or take it out, and it will automatically calculate that for you. And that's any one of us could go home and make a budget that looks just like this. Some of the common mistakes you want to avoid when making a budget: a lot of people will use their credit card to swipe for a 69-cent candy bar or a $1.25 pop, and don't forget to take that transaction and put it into the books, and they wind up $1.25 overdrawn at the bank. And if you know banks, if you're overdrawn $1.25, you usually have a $35 fee for each account that's overdrawn, and for every 3 days after it's overdrawn. So you want to make sure you write down each and every expense that you have. And intentionally not writing something down because you feel like it's not important is really not a good idea, because even if you don't use a card or debit card and it's just simple, you're spending cash out of your pocket, you want to know what you're spending your money on, because that could be really important when it comes down to when you want to cut your expenses down, but you don't know where all your money's went. That's because you're consistently going to McDonald's, spending $5 a day, or you're going and buying pops from the store here and there, and all that adds up. And you really could find out that if you're buying a pack a day of cigarettes, but you're not writing the transaction down, that could lead to, well, which my habit is, $200 a month. Buying on impulse. Everybody walks through the store and sees something that they want, not need, but they want, whether it's a purse or a pair of shoes, and eventually, and you say, okay, I have enough on me, I have money in the bank, I'm going to buy it. You don't want to do that. If it's not in your budget, if it's not in your plans, walk by it and let it go. If you cannot do that, stay in the house. And don't become a victim, a budget buster. A budget buster is a friend that calls you up on the phone and says, we're all going out, do you want to come? And you say, of course I want to come. I want to go out and party, I want to have fun. But when you get to the restaurant that you're going, you realize the food is high. The food's real high. And so you go ahead because you don't want to seem broke. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to feel like an outsider. And then after you're done eating food, you think, oh, I just made it, I have about $5 left. Yeah, so do you want to go here? And then eventually you go and you end up spending a lot more money than you wanted to. You don't want to do that. Avoid budget busters. Say no. Tell them I don't have it, or tell them you have something to do. You don't want to be so frugal. You don't want to be too tight on your money. You want to leave some space for freedom, for comfort. You don't want to be so tight to where you're just getting by on a couple of dollars. You're like, no, I don't want to do this. I just have to hold on to my money. And don't ignore the time value of money. If you put money up and you let it accumulate, it could really lead to some financial wealth. If you change your life, change your budget. If you get a raise at your job, you want to immediately calculate that into your budget. You want to find out how much more money you have, and now what can you put that money towards. That way you'll know exactly what to expect. If you have a financial emergency, that goes to the fact that you just want to make sure you immediately calculate in your budget, see what you can cut down to take care of this emergency. There's always something in your budget that you can cut back on. If you make a big purchase or major expense, you might want to take it easy the next months forward, so you can have a little more money. You can replace the money that you spent, and you want to change your habits. I mean, if you change your habits, say you start smoking more because a stressful event occurred, you want to take care of that. My next subject is retirement. There's a lot of reasons to consider planning for retirement because of the uncertainty of Social Security. I know everybody heard that as we get older, there might not be enough funds in the Social Security to help just live off when we retire alone, and there's always going to be unforeseen medical bills. We're going to get older. We're not going to feel as well as we did when we were 24, and so you got to have money put away just in case you're put on a new prescription that's higher than the others, and you want to make sure that everybody wants greater longevity. They want to have more money. They want to be wealthier. And so that's another reason why you want to plan for retirement, so when you can retire, you can be comfortable, all your bills will be paid, and you can be an investor, you can make more money. And you want you can change. Certain income that can help you fund your retirement is your regular employment income, Social Security, and there's different, and your savings accounts and other investments will help you fund your retirement down the line. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what that's involved. I don't know. You can change. Asset allocation is really important. You want to diversify. You don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. You want to make sure that you put 10% in that, 20% in this, because if there's a default and you're playing anywhere and that 10% is wiped out, you still have more left. But if you just put everything in one idea that comes across and it fails, you will lose everything. I know there have been people who've been worth millions. They made a couple bad investments, and now they're bankrupt. And not bankrupt in the sense is I bankrupt to protect myself, but they're bankrupt, and now they just regular jobs. Age matters when you're diversifying. An older person wants to put their money towards more safer investments like bonds. Treasury bonds are very safe. But a younger person, they might take the risk. They might invest in stocks. They might invest in a mutual fund or something like that. So your age matters, and as you get older, you want to change your diversification. You want to change the percentage as you're, and there's actually investments that do that for you. They'll take your money out of stocks and put it towards bonds and the safer investments so that you can protect yourself. And you want to make changes to where you want to always do research to make sure that you know what's going on so you can change the allocation in your portfolio so you can buy more stocks or buy more bonds in your retirement portfolio. The last subject is on investing. Common types of investments are stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. ETFs are exchange-traded funds, which are like mutual funds that you pool your money with a group of people. It's usually traded at the end of the trading day, and you get a certain amount back on this investment. It's not like buying individual stocks. It's not as risky. Exchange-traded funds are just like that, but it's traded throughout the day. There's other investments like currencies, which is the dollar, US dollar, or the euro, and of course commodities like corn, grain, wheat, things like that. And there's other investments, just like paintings or cars, things that you invest in that you might want to sell later on down the line. The different strategies of investing are active and passive. Active and passive basically means whether you get somebody to help you or you do the majority of your research yourself. I suggest that you do a majority of the research yourself because the other people are in it for the money. They will take advantage of them if you let them. There's value in growth. A value investor likes to get in and see a company that's down and see wants to predict the change around. The growth investor wants to catch it on its way up while it's already storming up, which is very risky because you might make it at the wrong time when everything's headed back down. There's small cap and large cap, which is big companies, little companies. Technical analysis, which is the graphs. They usually look at points in the graphs and things like that. That's another risky investment way. But fundamental analysis is the best way for me because you really look at the company and you really look at the investment and you find out the essentials and what's really going on. You really need to know that when you're investing because investing is important. You cannot maintain financial wealth if you do not invest. And you have to know yourself. You have to know the type of person you are. You have to know how far you'll go. And there's different tools to help you with investing because investing, when people hear it, they immediately back away because the language is so different and it's so technical, it scares you to the point you just hand your money over to somebody else. But really, there's tools out there that can help you understand these things online. I love it. I learned a lot of the things I know by looking at online, Yahoo Finance, Morningstar, and the S&P. The Standard & Poor's has a good website when it comes to just learning different things. Newspaper, you can get the Financial Times or the Investors Business Daily, little newspapers just to read and find out what's going on in companies so you can understand the terminology. If you don't know a word, look it up. Investopedia, you can put the word right in there and it'll have the definition for most of them. You can watch the TV shows just to hear a professional's opinion on it and maybe help you understand it more. And of course, you can go to an investor, somebody that will help you with your money. But again, remember that they are in it for the money. They are not in it for you as much as they will make it sound like. And the library is truly your best friend. You will have, there's so many resources in the library when you want to find out what to do with your money. They will give you all kinds of advice. They have all kinds of books. They have records that go back longer than any of us have been born. My last thing I want to talk about is fundamental analysis, to tell you what you should look at if you're investing in a company. Because when you invest in a company, it can also be it has the greater risk and the greater return. Risk goes with return. The greater the risk, the greater the return. The smaller the risk, the smaller the return. You want to know what the company does. You want to know what kind of industry it works in. Are they in the financial service industry or are they automotive industry? You want to know that type of thing. You want to know who the competitors are because they might not be the top of the breed in the company. You want to know the management. Management is important. People forget about who run the company when they're investing. If you have a crook running your company and now he's indicted, that can really screw up your whole investment. You can lose everything. And you want to know about the upcoming special events, because that could really change the things that's going on. You want to look at all the risk factors. You want to know how much they're paying for things. All that really comes into play when you're investing. You want to know their future plans. What are they going to do to grow the company? What are they going to do to clean up their financial statements to make things better? You want to know if they have any changes in accounting. There was a company called, I believe it was Anderson, it was an accounting company, and they were real ruthless, and they were in every type of fraud that were going on, from WorldCom to just different companies. So you want to know if they're changing their accounting, why did they change their accounting, what went wrong, and who's still left behind that may continue those old practices that were dangerous. You want to know how much they're paying their people that work there. Sometimes they will pay the CEO billions and billions of dollars, give them all types of incentives, and really pushing nothing back into the shareholders' hands, and so therefore you're left with nothing, and they're feeding their own pockets. You want to look at the financial statements. That will really give you all the information that you need. There's a financial statement called the 10K, and it's difficult to read. I'm not going to lie to you. It'll take forever to read the 10K, but there's a lot of information. Most of the information that I'm telling you that you need, you'll find in that financial statement. But the most important part of the financial statement, the 10K, the notes to consolidated financial statement, they're really going to break it down for you, and that's where you get the most information that you will be able to use. And you want to know if there's any legal situations that they are going to that may affect the company and therefore your investment. There's a book by Peter Lynch called One Up on Wall Street. What that book is about is the fact that you know a lot of things that you need to know investing, because you already know a good product. You see the trends and you know what you like. And that's what that book talks about how he took common daily things that he's seen in his life and made a bunch of money of it. He gave a story about his wife going to the grocery store and came back with a bunch of stockings. And he's like, where did you get these stockings from? He said, oh, well, the local grocery store. He's like, they sell stockings in the grocery store? She said, yes, they're right next to the counter. And he realized what that company was doing. They wanted to be seen. They wanted to be that last item that you grab. That's why the gum and the candy are right by the registers, because if you're on your way out, you're going to say, oh, let me get this pack of M&Ms. That really counts, and he ended up making a lot of money off of that. And so you know what you like, and therefore you might want to research that book and see how can you get your money into it so that you can make some profit off of it. Finally, my conclusion is budgeting. Remember that budgeting is not depriving yourself, but it is controlling yourself. Retirement is a realistic goal. If you remember the things that I told you about budgeting and investing, they are all connected. And with good research and reasoning, you can make a good decision. And a good investment. And with that, you'll be able to have financial stability.